Yeah, yeah. After
Yeah, welcome. This is Steve Paul John. I look a bit tired, and it's because I'm tired actually, and I wanted to get this out of my system. Yep, as fresh as possible, right? Yeah. One thing is, about Paul, he loves to drive. Yeah, he's a traveler. Yes. So and congratulations. Hope you get to win your match too. Oh, I hope so too. Oh, yeah, as if it's just before the Arsenal match against Nottingham Forest. Yeah. So, oh yeah, to win it. Thanks to Man United. Yeah, we want, yeah, we got Man City as they should, as they normally do their boys. So, we can't do better than that, right? Nothing more than that, man. Yeah. So today, I will like to talk about, because we got, and by the way, we got a lot of fantastic feedback. Oh, thanks, guys. In the last episode, and like I said, there is perfection is the enemy of progress. Yes. So it's always good enough. It's okay. And I told them, all the people that they was, they said, oh, you were moving like this, you were doing like this, your accent wasn't that nice. I'm like, oh wait, by the time I make 50,000, 50 million pounds, like my accent will just change immediately. You know? As you said, that was that you never would. Yeah. Then you start to hear a different accent. But now you will hear the hustling accent. No, but you said, and the things I don't say. Yeah. So I'm glad we got a lot of fantastic feedback and thanks guys feedback. And of course, we got area that we need to improve on, which is a that was the whole point. Yeah, that was the point. Yeah. So today, one of the feedback that we also got, it's that I got. I got a message on that. People want to know what I'm currently doing. Exactly. What is it? And I mean, we're so that's a good segue. Exactly. That's a good segue because it's about life and business, inflationary, lifestyle, inflationary lifestyle. So basically finding a balance. How are you finding this balance in this particular stage of your journey? Yeah, the balance is always it's a tricky thing. But you need to stay it properly. Yeah, but in the last episode I did talked about reducing your your expenses, and that's very important. And also like that's funny enough, that's also important in business, especially when you're starting out as an entrepreneur. Yeah. And maybe I will try to backtrack a bit. Give some kind of because when I was also listening to the two previous episodes, and I was like, oh my God, how do I bring this so that I don't confuse people? But one thing that is certain is that you are able to pick, because it's also very new to me, and it also I'm giving it as raw as possible. So I will just be going. I might sound like a broken record sometimes, going all over the place. But you are able to get the point and see where I'm going with it. Okay. So I think if I backtrack a bit, you make the decision. If I try to tie all the episodes together, so right, then the scale once you start to make that the decision, yeah, then you start to now plow your way towards being I'm still in the struggling phase, of course. So because if I'm not in the struggling phase, then I'll probably be wearing a suit or something, or there will be a different thing. But I'm still in the struggling phase. But people would like to know what it feels to be in the struggling phase, and what is the struggling phase? What are the characteristics? What are the things that are in that struggling phase? Okay, and that let's expand on that. Yeah, so and I think that's it will be very interesting to have that discussion. So the discussion that we also like to have is this: Are you just a one-man army? Are you working? Exactly. You work company. So I think you sort of like mentioned after expansion, because obviously this journey can be taken on your own. You don't want it to do that. But if you're trying to build something more, if you want to go alone, you go. If you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go, if you want to go, if you want to bar, yes, then you don't have to bring people down. And I will always simplify it that if you want to build a business, you need people to build business. Yeah. You can't build business by yourself. Exactly. Because scaling is, I try not to go into AI today. to say that's an essential area that we're going to be dealing with that or what. So, but even with that, it still has an element. Even without meeting people, the AI itself has to compensate for something. Yes. So even if it's going to be a one-man band with AI, you are using a tool that should stand for people. So unless it can get to the stage where you can rely on it like a person, it's not going to work. Yeah, I mean, maybe if you start to have that discussion, like to be like, maybe you can even rely more on AI. And understand whatever. No. AI doesn't get money. No. Okay. Wow, I hope we let you listen this. It definitely was less. So people want to know, like, where are you now in your journey? Are you by yourself? If you are not alone, how did you recruit? Yeah. How are you able to pay salary? What kind of product do you even offer? Like, what services do you offer? How did you come about those products? How did you decide? The strategy that you started with. Yes. And in the business case, your very nice, beautiful PowerPoint that you started with. Is that the same thing that you're still doing? Or have you pivoted? Have you changed? I was thinking about so many questions. I mean, obviously to establish a business, you have to do the legal part of this, right? When it comes to forming either an equity firma, that's in Swedish, but an active law, which is pretty much, is it PLC or not PLC, limited liability company? Yeah, exactly, limited liability company. So in the business sense, what did you have to go through in order to get these things through? Because you're working between Sweden and Nigeria. What was the difference? Let's go into that. What was the difference between establishing in Nigeria as to establishing within Sweden? This is interesting because I don't need this discussion we go but why not? There might be something, maybe there's something there where so you see, this is when you do script, things just unflow. Yeah, it just happens. So okay, incorporating in Sweden before it used to be quite straightforward. You just go online, you just apply, and then they ask you you submit your business case, and it's changing every day. Because I spoke to someone yesterday and opening a complaint and a limited liability complaint in Sweden. There's a little bit more. It's a bit more difficult than before. I mean, I shouldn't say difficult. It requires more staging, more attention. Example, because when I did mine, you apply online. Okay, there's a statutory requirement for that. One of them is you pay like in the spirit of just saying everything, right? Because that's the whole idea. I said we're going to be as real as possible. Exactly, like 25,000 Swedish crown, which is about 2,500 euros. I mean USD dollars. Yeah, about 25. Yeah, about 2,500. And then of course you need to fill the form for if there's directors who are the owners of the business. You also need to give the business descriptions and and just have some articles, memorandum. You need to list assets. No, for the current. Okay. I don't really have any assets now. Oh. Yeah, but fortunately, you don't have to list any assets. Okay. So then, when you do that, then in Sweden, you need a bank. You need a bank certificate. It's called Bank 18. Okay, bank is for you to be able to open up limited to open up a company. Because we can go into that. I mean later because there's a reason why they do that. And, because just follow the money, right? So exactly. Yeah, there's some because I did a short stint in the banking sector. So I realized that there are many statutes that govern how money should flow. Right. That you have to adhere to. So that's why they want to know all this stuff. Yeah. They ask you. Yes. So I know it's a deeper conversation, so I know. Absolutely. We're not going to go deep into that right now, but at least you know that there is a check to be done. Yes, that's one to know, right? Oh, absolutely. And then those are also some of the challenges. That's why I'm actually having this thing, because you can see, since I did this like long time ago, it's already faded. Right? We're trying to document, so which is why it's very important that I'm documenting all these things. Yeah, but in Nigeria, it's quite also very straightforward. I would pay. You pay about 150,000 naira, which is about I wouldn't be talking about exchange. Exactly. That's better. So you pay 150,000 naira, and then it's really helpful for you to get a legal person involved. There are legal people that just help you. Maybe they charge another 100. So by 250,000 naira, you would have finished registering. Yeah, so it's not something that I also did. Something I also did in Nigeria, which was really important, was to because I felt like if I need to do this, I need to do it properly. So I research on what are other they are not, some of them are statutory requirements, but some of them are like really good to have for you to be a serious player, to consider yourself a serious player. So I got an NSITF, which is more like insurance, social security insurance. Okay, that's in the Nigerian side. And when I was telling people that, they were like, do we have social security? Oh yeah, yes, we do. Actually, we do. So there is social security trust fund. Okay, and that I think I will also talk about when I start to go into more deep. We will, exactly. I also got dedicated episodes. Yes, I also got the ITF, which is Industrial Trust Fund for people doing the industrial training. Okay, so I got like I got all those things that are quite good to have. Yeah, and I discovered that not so many other businesses, especially startup, yes, thanks to them, because and I wouldn't blame them, man, because you have so many things that you are contending with, and if you are a startup founder, you are HR, you are legal, you are head of sales, you are head of technical. If you are technical, you are, or whatever industry that you are head of that industry. And then you are also a counselor. So you need to know that some of your employee might need handbroker. You need to counsel them. Some of them might need a relationship. Just know that you are paying for yourself, or if you're general, you have to be almost everything. Yeah, and then that's another thing. So like I said, it would be nice to have like those where I am at the moment. Like people ask, what are the kind of stuff that I do, and what product do I have? Do I have an employee? So now. Yeah, but at the kind of, I know also right now, what kind of, because I've always been curious about the hiring process. I've never hired anyone for a long time, maybe for a short little thing here or whatever, but I've never hired anyone for a long time. Where's the camera? What's we could say? To say this. We can say this. This one. And talk directly to the camera. The most difficult thing for me now. So this is, you don't need to claim this. For me, like I said, I'll be getting other entrepreneurs to talk and people trying to found a company. The most difficult thing to do is to hire people. I'm going to say it again. Let's talk to the guy. The most difficult thing to do, and is the most important thing. Yeah. Like we said that for you to, you stated an African proverb that for you to go far, you need to go as a group. If you want to go fast, there you go by yourself. You can't build a company, you can't really scale or to being equal without having 10. And I will use a good example. So we started to build a website, we started to build a website, and then I could build, but how do I build and also go and do sales, and if it turns out that like we are building, we have a request to build 5 applications, what will you do? Oh, you can't do by exactly. So you need to have to start to onboard people. So now onboarding, it is not, hiring people is not something that you can learn the theories in university as well. Because I went to INSEAD, right? I mean, I did some management, some executive program in INSEAD, and we talked about the importance of recruiting getting the right fit, and trust me, those things, right? They really like this. Really like, yeah. And you are going to get it wrong. Yes. You only get, I don't even know if I should even say you get you get better, or you improve definitely, but you don't solve the problem of hiring wrongly.
Of course. I mean, how lonely is part of the journey.
Yeah. And it's the most difficult part to do. So how I guess people wouldn't want to be listening to the rant, and how am I able to do?
Thank you, man. Exactly. How have you done it so far?
So far in the team now, in the Nigerian team, we have like 10. 10. I don't like to call them employees. I like to call them partners.
Okay.
So we have like 10 partners that are we're working together.
Okay.
And the question will now be, oh shit, we are expanding now. So how did you move from are they full-time employee? Yes, about 7 of them.
7 are full-time. Okay. Perfect.
And 3 of them are like consultants, I can say. And how do I move from being part-time employee to making them a full-time employee?
Yeah.
How it's another I can't be putting everything for all the episodes, but so I can just I think we can deal with that one now actually. Like I moved from being so there is this I spoke to someone and I was like, how do I transition? The best thing to do if you are starting up is to have like contractors that you can just go. Like I said, every founder you have to be a sales guy or lady. You are selling. Well, I mean, as a matter of fact, we are all salespeople. I mean, either we're trying to convince your wife or your girlfriend, or trying to convince your boss, or we're all trying to sell ourselves. It's just that as a founder, you have to be extra spicy. So you have to be selling yourself.
Yes.
More and more and more and more. So when you sell, someone needs to deliver the project. So you can call it outsourcing, where you take your margin and then you pay for the person that is actually going to deliver the service. But at some point, you have to get to a point where you know that you want to have, if I say control, I don't mean you controlling another human, but you want to feel that this person wants
exactly what's happening. Know what's happening.
Exactly. You want to. So how do you get to that stage, right? My rule. This is what I decided to, because I spoke to other people, right? I spoke to other people, founder, and I was like, so how do you know when to recruit people and make them permanent? Because I think when it comes to using consultants, that model is not very difficult to understand.
Yeah.
Right. You know, if you get something for $1,000, get somebody else to do it for $600, pay the person $600, take your $400 for the company.
Exactly.
Easy. But now, what happens if you get another $1,000 or $2,000 and you call the person and the person say, oh, I have someone willing to pay $700. So they will not prioritize your work, right?
Yeah.
So we have to prioritize for the highest bidder.
Of course.
For you to now transition from that person as a consultant to making that person like, okay, you are now a full-time employee.
Yeah.
How do you do that? There's a lot of panic that sets in, because I don't know, telling somebody that you are employed, it sounds very juicy.
I'm already thinking about everything, because I have to have money coming in, go out to abroad. And
you have to pay the person,
of course.
If you don't want to be on LinkedIn and social media, or you never need started a company, we can already say, build this guy, that's one very example. They are full of shit and stuff like that. So how do you transition from when the guarantee is there that I only pay you when we work? See, I do, either you work or you go.
Yeah.
Now the responsibility is on me.
Yeah.
To go and look for that work.
Yeah.
For them to do. So how do you make sure that there's enough money in the account to compensate for rainy days when there will not be work coming in, because you still need to pay them salary?
Yeah.
Okay, I know everybody's waiting like, oh, there's a formula. There's no formula.
Yeah. You can see a little bit about that's what you're going to say. But formula. The formula is risk.
Okay. It's risk. So what I spoke to someone, the person said, oh, you know, I only make people permanent when I'm able to pay 6 months of their salary. Yeah, the 6 months of their salary is waiting Okay. And I'm like, before I get 6 months of their salary written, I will be begged. Wait me. Before I be able to do that. So I looked at it, and the person told me the rationale behind it. It makes sense. Let's say if we don't have anyone come and give you 6 months, I will still give them 6 months. Exactly. I still know that they're going to be fine within 6 months, and it makes sense. But I do not have. Nope. I do not have that on everyone. I do not have that to be able to do. So I said, okay, what if I can also treat it the way I'm treating my life currently, which I do. I know everybody is like recommend. I know it's month to month that I'm able to secure this month before next month. Okay. So what I did was I said, okay, I will set a rule of thumb. I'll be able to do maybe 2 months. Then also, the labor law in Nigeria is also like, you have to, what are the notice period? Because if it's Sweden, if they're on probation, there's a different notice period that you need to give. In Nigeria, there's also a different notice period that you need to give. So what I did was I was like, okay, let me cover the one. Let me have the money to be able to pay, just in case nothing is coming in for the statutory month that is required by law. So what is that in Nigeria? I think in Nigeria, it's you give like a 1 month notice period to even a permanent employee. Yeah, 1 month notice period. I need to check though, because I know Sweden is at least 3. 3 months. Is your permanent? I think 3. Yes, I think 3 months. Let's say 3 months. Yeah, I think in Nigeria also you could. I think the max I did take 2 months. Yeah, max I think 2 months. Okay. So because I think that's what I had to do. I had to say, okay, I have at least your money 2 months without getting anything. Exactly. Right. Without getting anything. And in a previous episode, I did discuss about lifestyle inflation. Yes. Which is you not, as your income increases, you don't need to match. You don't match exactly. Right? You need to basically keep it low to maximize profit. Awesome. So that also is in business. Okay. Right? So you have to also transfer that to business where let's say you get a project now, and someone is paying $2,000 for that project, and you are like, oh, okay. So don't touch the salary. Do not touch that, right? Because you can't suddenly now change everybody's laptop. I guess that is one of the reasons why you look at the startup, that the one that are funded by all the VCs, and you will see like once they get like their Series A funding and I'm not beating it. I'm just saying, please, that's how I think because when you get, you really need to. There's a proverb in Yoruba, but I'm going to say it because we have people that don't speak Yoruba, that whatever you work for is what stand the test of time. Okay. Yeah, whatever you work for is durable. Basically, whatever you work for is durable. Because if you get some kind of money, you get some money through any kind of means. What they usually do is like you discover that, maybe my office in VI is not really not central enough. Maybe you are in Surulere. You say my office is in maybe you are in FCO in Sweden. Then you are like, with the caliber of our company, we should be in Central Station. We should be in Central Station. We just got $10 million fund. Exactly. No, we should be anything like that. And I think everybody should buy a MacBook, right? So I see to myself, I knew when I was recruiting, I would ask, do you have a laptop? I want to say, yes. Okay. Yeah. I have a laptop. I will be like, I will need you. Exactly. So then they will use that to work. They use that to contribute. Yeah. Then after 2-3 months, then I because by then I'll be able to, because it's probation period. You don't really know what you are getting. I mean, the person might be fantastic, but you don't really know what they will bring at the end of the day. The spirit might not just exactly. You guys already might not work, and it's very important that you are able to make sure that you are not just increasing your expenses. So whatever it is that you can do to reduce expenses, you have to do that. You have to the being frugal doesn't just end in your own personal life. It also has to end in business. So you need to create a budget. You might be saying, I'm a startup, do I need to have a budget? Trust me, that's even more important. That's the only, that if there's any time you need to have a budget, that's when you need to have a budget. Like, so have a budget. So I have Excel list. Excel is always good, even if there's AI, right? So where I have, these are the list, these are the employees, these are the consultants, and this is how much I need to be able to pay salary for like 2 months ahead. So I always check the account to make sure that is also always in place. And so which is very, very important. Of course, I would have loved to dive more into like actually hiring. Yeah, but I think we'll be touching a bit more.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think you're definitely not done with hiring.
No.
Or I'm on the other side of hiring. Have you had to fire it?
Yeah. So yes, but I had to fire them in the European style before I see the company's name on LinkedIn. This you don't really fire in Europe now.
Of course, it's very.
You are the best after something like
Yeah. But because I'm the layer, but other girls we don't know. I mean, we don't.
On a serious note, I'll fire a few people, but it wasn't really, they could see that there was no any hard feelings.
Yeah.
It just turns out that let me drink water. Yeah. I'm a startup CEO. I'm a startup founder. That doesn't mean that I can't still drink water. No, I'm not like that.
Water is important, man. Water is important.
Yeah, so I've had to fire a few people. Of course, and it just turns out that you know when you interview people, there are different methods, right? Of recruiting. Yeah, I'm getting to know the kind of resources that you need. But one thing I can quickly point out is this: if there's anything that what's taken out of this is that recruit attitude. Yeah, character, more than skill set. Actually,
Skill can grow.
Because people can actually, because if you have the right, I have people that I have in the team now. That's what I started to now do when I'm recruiting. I take you for lunch. I talk to you. Actually, I talk to you. I study you. I study how you behave around other people, how you respect people, how you treat other people. I mean, because at the end of the day, if you have a decent background or a decent education, then you can jump on any skills. That's with the right attitude. You will learn any skills.
Exactly.
If you have the right attitude, you will definitely learn. So I try to check the attitude. I try to check. And one thing, okay. So if you are considering or you're already a startup, right? And then you're thinking, what is apart from attitude, what are other things that I can think about when I'm hiring someone or when I'm trying to onboard someone as a startup? This is what I have found out. You want to go with people, someone that can think, can act independently. And I will tell you why. But when you are a startup, you are everything. You are sales. So you don't need someone that will be sending you a message and say, Sal, or Ma, or Paul, should I make it purple? Should I make it pink?
Yes.
Because you want somebody that will be able to say, hey, I've checked the customer's thing and it makes sense. That makes purple.
Yeah.
So I'm done purple.
Yes.
Because when you now look at that, you'll be like, can we try another color?
Exactly.
It's better.
Collaborative. Yes, yeah, it's a collaborative effort. So if the person is asking you for direction, like you said in the first place, that is counterproductive. Yeah, it doesn't show that you trust what is supposed to be going on.
It wears you down.
Yes, it does.
Because as an entrepreneur, you're trying to solve so many things at the same time.